Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of NinaRibena's Art Journal Prompts and More. It's March and so time for a new mood board project. This is another mood board that Elaine Gardner has put together for us, and she sent me this one 3 or 4 weeks ago because she knows how inspired I am at the moment by my sari fabrics, and so she thought this would really appeal to me. I hope it appeals to you too. I can think of so many ideas and ways that that this could be interpreted, and I hope you like what I've put together for the project today. But of course we've got the lavender fields, we've got the night sky, we've got mountains in the background, we've got a dream catcher, we've got various patterned papers or textiles with sort of a bohemian ethnic style theme going on. We've got some fairy lights and also what looks like to me some German book text, but you know, I can see a watercolour here in a galaxy theme or night sky theme, maybe the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis. There are also lots of ethnic shapes in here, Moroccan style theme you could perhaps do, just lots and lots of different options. So let me just talk through what I am going to be using today. I'll leave this at the beginning and the end of the video for you, a full picture, and of course there'll be a downloadable picture of this in the Facebook group as well. Now my video today is inspired by Tracy Fox, and I'll leave the link to her video in the description box below, but she did a video recently where she made a journal out of an Amazon box, and I've been hoarding onto these oh gosh, over the past couple of years because I just think they're perfect for making journals. Now this is one of the larger ones. The one I'm using today is about half the size of this, and you'll see when I start the video that there's quite a bit of tidying up to do beforehand. You know, this has to be removed and they need to be trimmed and shaped slightly, but these I just think are perfect for making journals. Now I'm using the Eastern Opulence paper pack today as well because this paper pack just fits the prompt perfectly. I bought this over the Christmas period when I had my fabrics from Love Me Blue, because I just thought it'd be beautiful for using with those fabrics for mixed media projects. Just absolutely perfect. So I'm really pleased that Lainey sent me the mood board when she did, because you know, just perfect for the themes that I've been doing recently. So Eastern Opulence by Do Crafts Paper Mania. I got this in the range, I think it was $11.99. This is the 12 by 12 pack. I'm really not sure though, but I think you can get this online as well. So that's what I'm going to be using today. So let me talk you through my video. Now before you can start working on these boxes, they need tidying up just a little bit. You can see that they've got raggedy, jaggedy edges. I like to round off the corners as well, so I'm just doing that now. There are various panels on the front cover as well that needed to be peeled off. I'd already done that when the package arrived. Now this originally had 2 flaps, the one that you can see at the bottom and one the same at the top. I'd already taken that off when my parcel arrived. In Tracy's video she keeps both of hers intact, but you know, you could remove them both if you decide to do this kind of project. Entirely up to you. Of course, don't feel you have to make a journal for this week's mood board project. You can interpret the mood board any way you like. So as you can see, I just continue to round off those edges and just neaten this up a little bit before I start gluing my papers down. Now you can see that I've got my ruler to hand here because I'm just making a flap for that little fold out bit at the bottom, just so that I can glue it down inside my journal and have something tucking inside it. So I've just made it a couple of inches bigger than the flap itself. The flap measured 6 inches across, so I've cut this to 8 inches and then scored at 1/2 inch twice on both sides. And now I'm just drawing round that flap to get the shape so that I can attach it to the bottom. Now the reason I've done this is to give that flap on the box some side so that I can tuck something inside it, and of course they're not going to fall out. So I just cut around the shape that I drew, and then I add some of the red double-sided sticky tape, which is really strong, just so that I can attach it to the inside of that flap. Now I've cut some papers to size. I've measured each of the panels on the box. I'm not providing any measurements for you because you even if you used an Amazon box, it's very unlikely that that your sides and panels would be the same size as mine anyway. But I've measured mine and cut my panels, and I'm just attaching these with some Fabri-Tac, which I'm applying all over the back of the papers. Now I'm using Fabri-Tac for this because it doesn't buckle your pages. It's not so wet that it seeps through to the underside of the paper, and once Fabri-Tac has glued, it's just not going to go anywhere. Glue stick just wouldn't be strong enough for something like this, which is going to get a lot of wear and tear. It's fine for an ATC or a tag, but you really do need to use something stronger for this. You could of course use your tacky glue, but my preference is Fabri-Tac in this case. So I've just popped my papers down and I'm just trimming sort of, as and where I need to. I'd rather have it slightly too big and be able to trim things down than the papers be too small. Now for this one here, because of the rounded corners, I'm applying the glue to the cardboard box as opposed to the paper, and then I'm just going to trim it once that glue has dried. Now it's important when you get to the inside of the box that the papers aren't too wide, so that when you lift the sides up that they're not too wide and start peeling up. So I'm just checking my measurements and also just playing around with my layout as well, and just making sure that I get it so that it's pleasing to my eye. Now for me, that front flap was the trickiest one to glue the paper down. I end up cutting my paper to the full width, including the flaps, because I just think this is going to be a neater way of doing it. And I make sure as well that I put a piece of parchment paper behind that flap to stop any glue attaching to the paper behind it. So I glue that down, and then I'm just going to have to let it dry and then cut around the shape. Once the glue's dry, you'll see that I use my metal ruler just to bend those folds back into place. And then I cut with my scissors initially, but I do resort to using a Stanley knife as well, just to get into those awkward nooks and crannies. before I add the fabric to the sides, I'm just inking around the edges in Stays On ink in Midnight Blue, just to cover up any irregularities and where the paper, you know, perhaps doesn't quite meet evenly. Remember, this is a cardboard box. You are not going to get perfection with this type of project, however hard you try. I'm using this gorgeous sari fabric here to cover the side panels, front and back. I just think this will be stronger than using paper. And I just love this as well. It just matches absolutely beautifully, and I'm just tearing it, putting a snip in the top and just tearing it. It's quite hard to get it started, but you know, tears in a nice straight line when you do. And I need 4 of these, 1 for, you know, 2 for the front and 2 for the back. And then I start off by gluing this down with some tacky glue, because the trouble is with Fabri-Tac, it has a tendency to bleed through fabric, and it leaves dark patches, which I really don't like. And I saw that Tracy had used glue on hers. I have to admit that this tacky glue is not particularly successful for me, and I do end up sewing this, shock horror, sewing with my sewing machine. You can see here I'm just smoothing the fabric down initially with my fingers and then using a kitchen towel. But even though I apply extra glue to the edges, I find that it just doesn't stick down too well and keeps peeling up just at those edges. And I end up resorting to my sewing machine. So this is how my journal cover is looking so far, and you can see I did end up taking this to my sewing machine because I just couldn't get the fabric to stick down well enough. So I bit the bullet and decided to be brave. Now you can see, and I've said this to you before, I am a complete novice when it comes to the sewing machine, and my stitching is not neat at all, but you know, it really doesn't matter. I actually really like the way that it looks, and you know, I just need to practice on getting my stitching straighter. But what I want to do now, I've added some of my really strong double-sided sticky tape to these end panels here. I don't know whether you can see that, so I've just put 2 strips on there and there, and the same here. So I'm just going to peel this off, and I'm just going to do one side at a time. So I've peeled the tape off, and I did end up using my pokey tool as well just to assist me. Now this is where you need to be careful, because once this stuff is stuck down, you haven't got any wiggle room at all. So there we go, that's one side done. So now I just need to peel the tape off here. So the tape's off, and so again I am just going to be really careful. There we go, and stick that one down as well. Oh, there we go. And I think I'm just going to go in there with a bone folder and just make sure that that's well and truly stuck down. Now I did end up adding some Fabri-Tac just to this side here along the glue tape, because it just wouldn't seem to stick to the fabric. This side has stuck really well, but as I say, that side just needed a little bit extra, and then I just weighted it down with my gesso tub just for a minute or 2. And then to finish things off for today, I've made myself a dream catcher, because of course we've got the dream catcher in the mood board. This is it. Isn't that cute? And the way that I've made it, I've got a couple of packs of these metal decorations, and this charm here, the circular one, came from this pack here. These were presents that I've received. Linda Cooper Pierce, we always exchange things at Christmas time and birthdays, and she has sent me a couple of these packs here. So as I say, the round one was in this one here, and then the feather was on this pack here. So I just stole a brass jump ring off. In fact, it wasn't that one there, it was this bracelet. I collect jewellery from, oh gosh, the charity shops, thrift stores as you call them, in the US. This and this one here came from Poundland. Oh gosh, a long time ago, a couple of years ago probably, and they were just clearing off all of their jewellery. This was another piece I had. I had a set of earrings as well, and they were were reduced to 25p each. I think they were doing just four for £1, just in a basket. I'm always looking out to see if they have any more, and I haven't seen any recently, but I've just stolen one of the brass jump rings off this set here, and what have I done with it? Made myself a charm. So I am just going to stick this onto my piece, something like that, I think. So I've just marked the centre. This measures 6 inches across, so the centre is 3, and I'm just going to poke a hole, and I'm just going to use one of these brads. These embellishments are just brads. There we go. And so I'm just going to use the one that was attached to one of these. So I'm just going to carefully, let's have a look, punch my hole. I think I want it to go there, like that. Be careful when you do this, because these pokey tools are incredibly sharp. Let's have a look. Let's take that out and make sure that I've got it going all the way through. I have, and then hopefully this is going to be long enough for me to get it through, because of course this corrugated cardboard is actually quite thick. Oh, good grief, all fingers and thumbs. I'll tell you what, I'll do this off camera, and as soon as I've done it, I'll be right back. So here we go, I've added my dream catcher. I did end up using my hot glue gun just to add a tiny blob of glue just underneath this part here, because it was just swinging around too much, which was really annoying me. I don't mind the feather dangling, but the whole lot was just a bit too much. So that's holding that firmly in place. But that's how it looks so far. I just love this journal. Really, really happy with that. From an Amazon box, who'd have thought it? But I'm going to be back next week for the Junk It Up project, where I shall finish this off and add some things to the inside. So I'm calling it a day for now, but let me just bring back the mood board. I'm really pleased with how this follows the mood board. Of course, we've got, you know, lots of different bohemian style fabrics here. I've used my bohemian papers, so you know that follows that. The purple, I've got the purple fabric as my binding. I've got my dream catcher, which I'm quite proud of, thinking outside the box there. The only thing I haven't got so far is anything replicating the lights here, the fairy lights, which I don't think I'll be able to do anything with. Of course, if you did some kind of wall hanging, you could add fairy lights around the outside. That's giving you some ideas. And of course I've got some, I think it's German book text, but I can incorporate some of that next week perhaps. So that's it so far. I am really happy with that. So think outside the box with these mood boards. You can interpret them in any way you like. So if you enjoyed the video this week, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, because it really does let YouTube know that you like what I'm doing. And let me know what you think in the comments below, and take care everyone. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.